Hello, my loves. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dustina. This is Boujee Astrology, and we're going to take a look at the astrological transits of June 3rd through June 9th. Now, before you do type of recap or look ahead, just a quick little reminder for everybody. I am running a BOGO special for all of my existing clients. Existing clients means we have had sessions before, we've met before, we've done something together before. If you purchase a 60-minute session or a 90-minute session with me at the full price, you automatically either get a coupon towards your next reading, or you can choose to gift a natal chart reading to another person. It is completely up to you. We'll talk about it in our individual conversations as to like what you're looking for and kind of go from there. Now, to be clear, this is an existing client special. Why do I keep saying that? Because if you are a new client, you do not pay full price. So my normal one-on-one sessions for an hour is going to be $50. For 90 minutes, it would be $70. I lower that for first-time clients because I want them to feel confident in the decision that they're making. So if you're a first-time person coming to me, an hour-long session would be $35. A 90-minute session would be $50. And it's completely up to you, like which way we're going to go on that. But because you already get a discounted rate, I'm not doing something on top of that. So again, BOGO special for all of my existing clients. New clients, you get special pricing, just kind of keeping everybody in the loop. Now we're moving on. We're getting into a very interesting week. And the reason I say it's interesting is because we have two planets changing signs. Mercury is going to change signs. Mars is going to change signs. Mercury is how we start the week. Mars is how we end the week. And for a lot of people, the two planets changing signs is going to be an arrival, a new thing, a new person, new clients, new forms of communication, being served certain paperwork, depending on what house we're talking about. But in addition to the new person, we also have this beautiful energy between the sun and Venus. And as we go through this week, we will have a Sun Venus Cazimi. The conjunction will be the superior conjunction. It is meant to shed light, reveal, debut. Some people are going to have discoveries in this moment, epiphanies, ideas. The debuts can be something like, this is what I've been doing. This is where I work now. This is what's been going on. For other people, it's going to be like, this is my revenge bod. And because it is Venus, the aesthetic and these things that bring us pleasure are the things that are more likely to come to light. Venus is a representation of the feminine, the things, again, that bring us pleasure and joy. And whatever comes to light, whatever gets connected, whatever can arrive for people this week can also be a love connection. Now, I'm not a love reader. Y'all know that. I am not a sunshine and rainbows person. It all kind of depends on what house this is in for you. For some people, whatever gets revealed can lead to healing. It can lead to levels of peace. It can lead into new chapters and new beginnings. For some people, whatever is getting revealed can be something that impacts the health. Now, last month, the last few weeks of May, Venus made conjunctions to Jupiter and Uranus, and now is coming to this conjunction with the sun. And for many people, there was a pattern there of unexpected discoveries. Those unexpected discoveries have led to doctor's appointments. They have led to scans. They have led to labs. They have led to referrals to specialists. And for some people, the arrival of the new person, the new connection this week will be that. It will be the specialist. It will be the person that gives you an idea as to what we're looking at. Now, I've said this before, whenever it came to Venus's energy, Venus rules everything tied to like your taste buds, your mouth, your thyroid, your esophagus. Venus is the primary ruler of your lungs. Venus rules the kidneys. She has connections to your sexual organ health, especially in women. And anything that's going to be in these areas of the body can be impacted. For some of you, it's not a negative impact. And what you're going to be showing off this week, or what is you're going to be encountering, will have to do with like physical aesthetic changes. I want this nose job. I want those veneers. We're doing something in that area. Whatever it is, the biggest takeaway to this week is we are going to have something that is coming to light, coming to the surface. For a lot of people, whatever this is includes a new person, new people, new communications, new legal matters, because Venus rules Libra. And we've had so many things that have been corresponding to that with the South Node there. Whatever newness is meant to bring us forms of peace. It is meant to bring us more into balance. It is meant to help us connect into a different area. There is something new that comes through, and given right after the Sun-Venus conjunction happens, right after that Cazimi, we also have the new moon in Gemini conjunct said Venus. It's like whatever is coming to light, whatever is getting revealed, whatever's coming to the surface, whoever you are connecting with, whatever meeting is going on, the new moon cements it. It gives it more structure. It makes it a bigger part of the long-term picture. And it will play a part as to how things continue from here going into the next eclipse season, which is not until fall. But the things that lead us to those changes, they start to come through well before the eclipses, the little inklings. This is an element towards bringing us more into balance. For some people, the revelation and what gets revealed, whatever comes to light, will not be fun at all. And that new information will be disruptive. And that disruption is more likely to come towards the end of the week, if that is the said case, because that's when Mars will enter Taurus. Good old Mars. The disruptive energies of Mars. A lot of us, though, whatever we are debuting this week, we've been working on for a while. We've been dealing with for a while. We've been uncovering for a while. It is not meant to be a surprise. If you are uncovering something that leads to disruption, well, you've had suspicions for a while. The writing has been on the wall for a while. Whether you have chose to recognize that or not, it's a very different conversation. But the elements of the new this week that we will be encountering, that we will be dealing with, that we will be connecting with, that we will be recognizing in all of those words, it is stuff that we've already been working on. Whatever new is coming through, it's the next round, it's the next level, it's the next half, it's the next chapter, it's the next part. We spent all of May making long-term decisions, setting it for a very new foundation as to where we will have expansion in June. This is the first week of expansion, building on the existing, building from the new that we've already cemented in. We're getting the next rounds and the next layers of the information, the next part of the decision-making process, the next round of new beginning, the next cycle of new people that are connected to whatever we have already been dealing with, whatever we've already been working through. It's just being aware that we're building on something, we're building from something, moving forward from here. I think it's going to be a good week. It's all kind of coming down to where this is in your chart. It might be a more difficult week for Capricorn risings or Cancer risings because the Venus Sun conjunction, it's in your 6th house for Capricorn risings, 12th house for Cancer risings. But for most everybody else, this is actually in a really good place. So it is what it is. Let's get into the charts. Let's get into Monday. Okay, Monday, June 3rd. We are right after midnight. We're wrapping up the moon in Aries. There's nothing super big about the moon in Aries, but I am still starting this right after midnight because between 12:30 and 1:30 in the morning, the moon is going to go into Taurus. Now, adding a layer to this. At 2:37 a.m. Central Standard Time, Mercury is going to move into Gemini. So we have a first planet moving signs. Like I said, start of the week, we have a planet moving signs, but we also have the moon moving signs. This is nearly simultaneously, just a few hours apart. We will have some type of communication, decision, contact, a run-in of some sort with someone new at the first part of the week. And it speaks volumes through this right here, since we have both the moon and Mercury changing signs simultaneously. Now, Mercury is moving into its own home sign, has not been in one of its own signs since last fall. And we are at the start of a very rapid 30-day span. And I actually covered this in the June month ahead forecast. Once Mercury goes into Gemini, in this moment, from June 3rd to July 2nd, Mercury is going to blast through 2 signs in less than 30 days. There's a lot of rapid movement to June. There's a lot of busyness to June. But again, whatever the busyness is, we are expanding on what we've already been dealing with, on what we've already been adjusting, on what we've already been working through. This will not be brand new situations per se. Everybody's in a different place. I feel like for a lot of people, this is just brand new layers. It's the next round of people. It's the next round of communication. Now, the other reason I started this off right after midnight is because in the late hours of Sunday evening, we had the Jupiter-Pluto trine, and we're still in that energy all day long. There's so much of this energy that speaks to how we are healing away from a past situation, how we are moving forward from the trauma, how we are moving forward from a previous power struggle. And that will also still be coming through once Mercury goes into Gemini. We are moving in a forward progression into the next chapter, into the next state, into the next round of something. Moving forward. Okay. Oh, between 3 and 5 a.m. Central Standard Time, the moon is going to hit this square to Pluto. If you have those moments where you're waking up in the middle of the night and your mind is really active, that can really come through, given that we're having so many of these things happen in the middle of the night. The human effect is some people are just going to be up late on Sunday. And there's going to be these conversations again about how we fix something, questioning about what it took to do these changes, what it has taken to progress so far, where we are going next, how we are going to continue next, and how we're going to continue to move forward. There is those questions of the who, what, when, where, how, and why. The human effect is for some people that, again, is a late night, Sunday night conversation. For a lot more people, that is a part of the Monday morning conversation. This is just when the transits are the most exact. Okay. After the overnight, because we're still at 4 or 5:30 in the morning, you know, after these overnight transits, there's nothing else exact to Monday. Jupiter's trine with Pluto separating all day. Venus's conjunction to the sun building all day, but not exact on Monday. I do like, however, that while Venus and the sun are coming into their conjunction, the moon is in Taurus. This gives volumes to the fact that Venus is hosting the moon. The moon does very, very well in Taurus. It's exalted there. So it tells me a lot of what is coming to light, what is being recognized, is impacting both areas of the chart. So what does Gemini rule for you and what does Taurus rule for you? It's kind of bittersweet if you are a Gemini rising, but I think a lot of you are becoming far more aware of some things and you're going to have a bigger boost in your confidence. For Taurus risings, this is going to be like that next chapter and something tied to finances and money with some focus on yourself. For Aries risings, this can be more tied to travel. For Scorpio risings, this can be based off of partnership and finances, but this can also be based off of legal matters and debt. So that can be a little hit and miss with them. But for the most part, like I'm just kind of giving some examples moving forward. I like this energy on how we are going to progress. Okay. Moving this along. Again, we don't have anything really direct after those overnight transits. So a lot of people, the human effect is whatever was playing out in those transits overnight is really going to just kind of debut or come forward as a part of like the Monday morning situation. And you're just meeting that new person, you're meeting new people. It's things along these lines. Tuesday is a little bit busier. So we're going to get into Tuesday. So between 1:12 and 1:23 a.m. Central Standard Time, that is when Mercury is going to hit this exact trine to Pluto. And then in a few hours, Mercury will hit its actual conjunction to Jupiter. What happened late Sunday night in the Jupiter-Pluto trine? Because the next round, the next layer, the questioning, the answers, the ideas, the documentation for some people. Be like, oh my God, I can't believe you've done that. Can you do that for me? Can you help me with this? The next round of something tied to whatever was going on over the weekend is coming through on Tuesday. So for some people, like you met with people over the weekend, you had certain meetings over the weekend, but you didn't actually put anything to paper until Monday and Tuesday. Like you go into the office and tell your assistant, or you're telling your partner, or you tell somebody else, or that's when you finally get to the computer and you type up what was previously talked about, what was previously discussed, what was previously understood. And we're taking in the next layer. Are we all doing this at 1:30 in the morning? No, but that's when this is the most exact. That's why I'm showing you. Okay. Moving this along. Mercury will hit its conjunction to Jupiter between 5:12 and 5:23. 32, sorry, because they're exact right here. 5:30 a.m. Here's Mercury, here's Jupiter. This is whenever these two are the most exact. Again, we don't always deal with something at 5 something in the morning. That's the human effect. But again, there's something from the previous discussion, the previous ideas, the previous meetings that we're getting the next round of, the next layer of. Sometimes it's the next party to that situation. And not everybody had a bad weekend. Just to be clear, if you had an event, maybe you're sending out thank you notes, especially like with people all having their graduation parties. If you confirmed that you were going to go on a trip, this is whenever we're actually looking at like loading the car up to take the trip because it's Mercury, you know. But it's the next part of something that we've already been dealing with, something that's already been a part of the conversation. Okay. Between 8 and 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, the moon is going to hit the sextile from Saturn. So here's Saturn, 18 degrees, 54 minutes. Here's the moon, 18 degrees, 44 minutes. Saturn is the elder. It is the authority figure. It is the boss. It is the responsible party, giving direction, giving guidance, giving approval, having a conversation. But given the fact that we have the Sun-Venus conjunction almost exact, it's not exact quite yet, but it's still very much in the vibe. We have the Mercury-Jupiter conjunction very much in the vibe. For some of us, whatever the next round of conversation is, whatever the documentation is, whatever the results are, whatever the scans are, whatever we're getting served into paperwork, like it's coming from an authority figure. It's coming from the sheriff. It's coming from the boss. It's coming from somebody that we hold in a high level of respect. There's a guidance. There's an approval. Considering the moon is moving forward, Sun-Venus conjunction is loosely in the square to Saturn. It's not exact. Both of them will actually square Saturn directly later this week. A lot of this energy speaks to, again, how we are progressing, getting the go-ahead, getting the green light, getting approval, getting guidance, being able to ask questions of Saturn, because Saturn's experiences, it speaks volumes sometimes. But just be aware that don't be surprised for a few of you if whatever approval, whatever guidance you get, it is the go-ahead to move forward without Saturn's input moving in, input anymore. And that will be a vibe that we start to deal with all throughout the month of June. It's like, yeah, you can move forward with that, but I'm not going to be a part of it. Yeah, you can move forward with that, but I'm not going to be able to help. I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to connect, join in, whatever it is. That doesn't mean you can't go. It just means that in some way you're not going to have supervision. Or if you're the Saturnian one in this situation, you're not going to go and babysit everybody. Sometimes we are the Saturnian ones. Anyways, moving along. It's not heavy. Again, approval, guidance. It's talking about whatever is being revealed, whatever is coming to light. For some people, whatever is coming to light and being revealed on Tuesday during the Venus-Sun conjunction, it is coming through from an authority figure. Okay. The Venus-Sun conjunction goes the most exact between 9:59 and 11:36 a.m. So you can see this right here. I got this at 10:30. Here's the Venus-Sun conjunction, 14 degrees, 29 minutes. They actually move together from like 28 minutes, 29 and 30 minutes. So they stay on top of each other, just moving forward. And I like the fact that, again, the moon is in Taurus while this is going on. So whatever is coming to light, whatever is being recognized, has something being cemented in for the long term, considering so many of those transits that has just gone through Taurus, building that foundation. This is the very start of like that expansion energy. I'm very serious about this. I feel like a lot of people are going to be busy through all of June, but we get the first rounds of it this week. Okay. After the Venus-Sun conjunction goes the most exact, that again is going to be something, whatever is coming to light is going to be having some level of an aesthetic change. It can be a recognition of like a shift in how you make money, how you spend money. You could have something suddenly coming to light that we were not anticipating that requires us to spend money. In other ways, it's recognition of how we're going to make money. But there is a big financial element to this for a lot of the signs, just to be clear. Oh, as much as there can be physical aesthetic changes, there can be financial changes. Moving this along, we're going to get into the evening time, and the moon is going to make a conjunction to Uranus between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I got this at 5:30. You can see that right here. Here's the moon. Here's Uranus. The unexpected, the unknown, an unexpected meeting, unexpected communication, an unexpected DM, exciting. Some people, we learn something earlier in the day, and that clarity, that guidance that we have been given, it is something that is worth celebrating. We are excited. You come home. How did the day go? How did the meeting go? How was your trip? How was this? It's so good to see you. For some people, the arrival of someone new is the excitement. I didn't know you were coming home. Nobody said anything. It was supposed to be a surprise, surprise, surprise. Here I am. This doesn't feel heavy. I don't feel like a lot of people are going to experience heaviness whenever it comes to Monday, but there can be unexpected recognition, unexpected energy, exciting energy based off of the moon's conjunction to Uranus. And again, Venus is the host. Venus is going through this rebirth with the sun. So the next round, the next layer, whatever is getting debuted, it has an appreciation. It has something being celebrated. It is something very, very exciting, very, very unanticipated. And it's going to be a good energy for a lot of people. Okay, moving this along. After the sun's conjunction to Uranus, not a whole lot more to Tuesday. So we're going to keep this moving along. We're going to start to get into Wednesday. And right after midnight, we get our first little energy. And I want people to be prepared for the dream energy after that Sun Venus conjunction, especially now, because whenever we go through the 2 to 4 a.m. time span, so I got this at 2:30, Neptune is going to hit a sextile with the moon. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the entire time Saturn's been through Pisces, like especially like the last few months when Saturn's been going over my natal moon, my dream energy has been out of this park. However, when Neptune transits are involved, they tend to be one step further, a little bit crazier, or a little bit more in depth, or a little bit more confusing. Do not be surprised if we wake up Wednesday morning in a bit of a fog or feeling confused, or if you wake up in the middle of the night, like with that numbing sensation or feeling really weird because you just had a weird dream. Like there's something weird in this middle of the night span between Tuesday going into Wednesday. And don't be surprised if you're having that whenever Neptune hits that sextile to the moon. For other people, especially if you're working the overnight hours, there can be just like the most random things that are going on, or it feels like the entire night is taking forever. You felt like everything was going to go fast, and then you get to the middle of the night and it's like, it's only been 5 minutes. I feels like an hour. What's going on? Why does time start to feel slow? That can be this part right here. Don't be surprised. I'm just telling you. And also be aware of the effects of something impacting your senses. So if you're having a hard time sleeping, you might take like a Tylenol PM. But if you take it too late, like it's going to give you the druggy effect the next morning. And again, that's going to be that thing that impacts your senses. Okay, moving this along. At 3:37 a.m. Central Standard Time, the moon is going to go into Gemini. So I got this at 4:30. Here's the moon right into Gemini. The moon is going to be the busier energy whenever it comes to Wednesday. I almost said Tuesday. I apologize. Given that the moon is going to do these follow-ups, this next round of information, the next layer, the approval, the meetings of something tied to whatever we've been discussing, whatever we've already been dealing with. So between 6 and 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, so I got this at 7:30, Pluto is going to hit this trine to the moon. Now, I purposely put this at 7:30 because while the moon is going through the trine with Pluto, it is simultaneously entering its conjunction to Jupiter. Again, what did we transform? Where is the fear moving away from? Where are we overcoming a past struggle? Where are we progressing? Where are we making changes in our mental state, our capabilities moving forward? What have we transformed? What have we left behind in recent weeks? Because this feels like the last little layer to it, at least for a while, based off of the things that came through from the weekend and also through Monday and Tuesday. You agree to something audibly, verbally over the weekend. You get a hold of the attorney on Monday. The attorney writes it up, sends it off for signatures. Now it's come back for final signature, that type of thing. The layers, the next rounds of something. You talk to somebody over the weekend, you set the appointment, you have the appointment, and then afterwards you get you have to go do the labs, you have to go do the test, you have to do the something, the final round of something tied to whatever's been going on since roughly Saturday and Sunday. So June 1st and June 2nd. Okay. Oh, when the moon hits that conjunction to Jupiter, it is the meeting with the doctor, the guru, the teacher. It's getting guidance. It's that hopefulness. There's something very, very hopeful to the 5th. And considering we are still in that Sun Venus conjunction, we are building towards the new moon, which will not happen on the 5th. We can feel the newness of the something around us working for us. We can hear the spreading of new ideas, of the breakthroughs, of the communication as we progress on Wednesday. I like Wednesday. I think Wednesday is going to be a lot of fun for people. Okay. Between 10:30 and 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, so I got this at 11:30, the moon is going to make that conjunction to Mercury. This is where I'm getting back to like the next round, the next layer. You can run into somebody unanticipated. You can get that final signature. You can do some filing. Given as Gemini, Mercury rules so much tied to communication, I feel like there's a lot of things tied to exactly that communication and transactions and travel based off of this part of the energy. We can be traveling for a meeting. We can be going into some place. We can be rounding the corner and run into somebody unanticipated, like, oh, I didn't think you were going to be here. I thought I was just meeting with them. We get some type of communication. We get some type of acknowledgement. We're getting something. I know this, I keep saying finalize, but whatever we're finalizing is also a part of like this revealing and this debut of this new chapter and new beginning. So I do feel like it's like this convoluted mix, but whatever we're like finalizing and wrapping up, it's not meant to be heavy. It's meant to be relieving. That's what I keep getting the impression of. Okay. After the moon's conjunction to Mercury, which again, this is all happening in the overnight hours and early morning hours. So I feel like a lot of us, every time we wake up sometime this week, like we have stuff to do as soon as we get up. It's all getting done during business hours. And then at night, we're trying to process. We're talking about it. We're spreading the word. We're talking more about what's going on. We're letting people know. We're getting things off of our chest in a lot of ways. Like there's a relief definitely in the air. Okay. We're going to get this moving. We're going to get into the 6th. The moon is going to be in Gemini all day long. And in the early morning hours is whenever the new moon is going to perfect. So it actually perfects at 7:38 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I got this at 7:30. You guys know I do this by the every 30-minute hour. So here we go. Here's the moon. Here's the sun. We feel the new moon's energy the most exact between 6:30 and 8:30, because again, it's going to perfect at 7:38 a.m. Central Standard Time. Simultaneously, though, while the moon is in its conjunction to the sun, it is starting its conjunction to Venus. And we will feel this the most between 7:30 and 9:30 in the morning. So again, finalizing a couple of things, getting the final paperwork, getting the final things worked out, getting the final logistics of something worked out. We are letting things be known, letting things be seen. We had something come to light with the Sun's Venus actual conjunction. And then once we get it all filed and handled, it's like it gives this relieving energy towards whatever new is meant to come through with this new moon. Is it an expansion of connections? Is it an expansion of your friendships? Is this an ongoing expansion in regards to your goals for your career? Is this something tied to financials and like being able to start a new commitment for a long-term partnership? Is this a relationship situation? Are we starting to, bridge over from like, we're going to talk a little bit over here to actually having like a deeper relationship? We start to see something transform in that connection. Are we having something going on with our kids? Depending on your sign, like we're cementing something this week with this Sun, Venus, and this new moon. Okay. Again, the new moon's at 7:38 a.m. Central Standard Time. We will feel all of that new moon energy the most between 6:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. because I'm including the Venus timeline in there too. We feel this new energy, this new idea, this new way of doing things. We can sense it, we can feel it. It has something that's meant to be relieving and give us pleasure in a whole different way. Okay. Oh, as we progress, the Saturn is going to hit its square to the moon between 11:30 and 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, this is the authorities. This is the boss. This is somebody that we hold in a high level of regard. This is our elders. We're getting something handled in a lot of ways, filed in a lot of ways. We're getting questioned by authorities whenever it comes to a square, and Saturn's in the superior side. Do you have anything else that needs to be done? Are we ready to wrap this up? Are you ready to take this next step? Are you ready to go in this direction? What else is necessary? How do you feel? There's something here about like the mind and also our heart and our feelings that we have the ability to express in different ways, work through in different ways, given Saturn's energy here. And considering Venus and the Sun, they're building to their square, which is going to go exact over the course of the weekend. Like we are in a continuous flow of something as this week progresses. Okay. And again, after the early morning stuff, I don't have anything else going on, not transit wise. So a lot of people, the human effect is whatever was going on in the early morning hours, it's setting the vibration for the entire day. If it's good stuff, if it's bad stuff, if it's questionable, whatever it is, we feel like we are getting something wrapped up in a lot of ways, but also we're getting relief because we know it's going to have this level of expansion and moving something forward. Okay. We're gonna keep this going. We're gonna get into Friday. Now, Friday, of course, we have some overnight transits again, because we can't have like just a normal night of sleep. Oh, it's not gonna go like that at all. So between 4:30 and 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, the moon is going to hit a sextile from Mars. There are going to be some people that they have a very different motivation that starts to set in when they wake up on Friday. For other people, it's going to be like a motivation that is unclear because while the moon is going through the sextile with Mars, it is also going through a square with Neptune. We can be motivated to do something, but we're going to do something that we've never done before. So there can be some excitement, but there can also be some confusion. We can feel motivated to wrap something up, but then we get that sense of nostalgia or that sense of wonder as to like, wow, I didn't think we would finally get here. I didn't think this was ever going to happen. I thought this craziness was going to go on forever. There's this energy that's almost bittersweet as to like once it occurs, once we get through it, once it gets signed off on, once we go through something, it leaves us feeling a little bewildered. The moon's square from Neptune goes the most exact between 6 and 8 a.m. So if I bump this to 6:30, you can kind of see them at the same time. Here's Neptune, 29 degrees, 45 minutes, squaring the moon. Here's Mars, 28 degrees, 43 minutes, in that sextile with the moon. We know we're taking some kind of action to resolve something, to finalize something. And for some people, we're super excited. For some people, it's a bit of nostalgia. For other people, it's inspiring because whatever we're inspired to do is going to make us have a different level of care and consideration. And considering, again, the Sun-Venus conjunction just happened, a lot of people will be taking a whole different level of understanding how they need to care for themselves in a lot of ways. There's something that we need to start to nurture in a new way that will really come through over the weekend. And that speaks volumes once the moon goes into Cancer. Now the moon's going to go into Cancer between 7:38 exactly, it's at 7:41 a.m. Central Standard Time. And as soon as the moon goes into Cancer, there's no direct transit. So it's not that the moon is void, it's just there's no direct transit. So for a lot of people, Friday is going to feel weird. If you've been doing something all week, back to back to back, over and over again, finalize this, move this, carry this over here, take this over here, drop this off here, drop them off here, pick up from the airport, take somebody. If you're doing the ping pong ball effect all week, and then you get to Friday and you're like, oh, there's something about when you've been that busy so constantly that whenever you get to the stopping point, you're like, I don't know how to stop. I feel like I should still be doing something. We're still on this rapid run mode. And there will be this vibe to Friday where it's just like, what do I do next? Nothing. You're done. I'm done. Are you sure? Feel like I missed something. Feel like I should be doing something else. And it might be hard to chill your shit, just to be clear. In addition to that, though, for some people, whatever gets brought to light, if it has to do with the health things, we might have to go do immediate tests or go do something immediately that keeps us running, and we don't have a chance to process it. Or if we're finalizing something tied to like a legal matter, so say a divorce or something tied to the courtrooms, and we're running all over the place all week to get something prepared, and then you get to this point on Friday and you're like, oh, and there's something we need to process. The awareness of something, the emotions of something. Some people will emotionally purge whatever has just occurred. For some people, you will not be purging, you will be celebrating, because there will be this relief. And it's just like, I just want to take care of myself for a minute. I just want to focus on me for a minute. I just want to enjoy this energy. I just want to enjoy my time with you. We don't have to go anywhere else. And that will be something that is necessary over the weekend, not just this early part of Friday, but it will also be something that it is hard for people to understand. I'm not a part of that anymore. I don't have to focus on that anymore. I am done with that. I have relieved myself of that. I'm separating from that. And it will be hard to process mentally in some ways, like that's exactly what you need to process, that you have just relieved yourself, that you are done with something. Okay. As we go through the day on Friday, after the moon goes into Cancer, again, there's nothing going on. There's no impacts to the moon in Cancer. So a lot of people, Friday is going to be a weird energy because you have been so busy all week. And then we're going to get to that dead day and you're like, okay, I'm done. Okay. Now, we're going to get into Saturday. We're going to get into the 8th. And of course, the moon is going to be in Cancer all day. In the overnight hours, because of course we have to do things in the middle of the day, Saturn is going to hit its exact square with Venus. Now, this goes the most exact between 3:09 and 3:27 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I got this at 3:30. Here's Saturn and here's Venus. They're just past their exact square. Again, whatever is going on, whatever is being overseen, whatever is being looked at, whatever is being reviewed. For some people, there is this idea of something that you've been working through all week, and then you get to the weekend, and it's like, this is when you're telling your elder, this is when you're telling your mom, your grandpa, your dad, your uncle, whoever, and you're getting their input, and they're like, that's really great for you, honey. I'm not going to be a part of that, or I can't help you with that. I can't afford that right now. For other people, there's going to be so much that's going on and something that's being found when that Sun Venus conjunction, that once we get to the end of the week, it's like that's when the elder finds out and somebody's going to get in trouble because it's a square. Yeah, you can't do that way. You can't go in that direction. Yeah, you can't do those steps in that way. There's something here where it feels like we're almost getting scolded in some ways. For other people, it's just getting the guidance. But it's getting something from the elder, from the authority figure, from the person that we hold in high regard as to how something needs to be fixed or dealt with from here, how you need to care for something from here. There is this adjustment that we are going through, this emotional adjustment moving forward. Okay. The Saturn Venus square is going to go the most exact again between 3:09 and 3:27 a.m. Central Standard Time. A few hours later, the moon is going to hit a trine from Saturn, and that goes the most exact between 5 and 7 a.m. So I got this now at, oh, it's p.m. I screwed up. There was nothing in between. There was nothing in between. Okay. AM, PM, whatever. 5:30 p.m. Here's Saturn, 19 degrees and 4 minutes. Here's the moon, 18 degrees, 43 minutes. It's just at the start of their trine. Again, this is emotional processing, emotional consideration, talking about what has changed. In some ways, in the earlier part of the day, there was a guidance that had like a harshness based off of the Venus square. But really, by the end of the day, there's a whole different level of consideration. There's a whole different level of understanding. Like, you had to do this way so that way we could have this come out as the effect. You have to take these steps if you want this to come through correctly. You have to build it this way. You got to follow the directions if you want the final product to go well. That's what this feels like for a lot of people. Saturn is giving guidance and an idea based off of the Venus square. And then by the end of the evening, like, we have a different understanding as to why Saturn said, you got to follow the rules. You got to follow the steps. You got to do something a certain way. Okay. After Saturn's trine to the moon, it's kind of a low impact day until we get to the evening time, right before midnight. So at 11:35 p.m. Central Standard Time, I got this at 11:30, Mars is going to enter Taurus. Now, I said at the beginning of the episode, we have 2 planets changing signs this week. We start the week with Mercury changing signs. We end the week with Mars changing signs. The changing planets, the planets changing signs, for a lot of people, that usually instigates the arrival of something or someone. This is going to be the next wave of the arrival. For some people, you didn't have someone arrive earlier in the week. You had news of someone arriving. And the arrival actually comes in the weekend. Does it have to be on Saturday, Sunday for it to be the arrival? No, but it can still be a part of the vibration. So we have the arrival of someone or something all week. Okay. This is going to be more impactful for most people as we go through the day on Sunday. It's going to be some type of disruption. It's going to be some type of communication. It's going to be something or someone coming through unanticipated. Now, went too far. Between 3:30 and 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, Uranus is going to hit a sextile to the moon. And this is right after Mars has entered Venus' sign. We can have some unexpected message that we wake up to the next morning. The intention of another person, the implication of something. Hey, I ran into so-and-so. Hey, I saw your friend. Hey, I'm going to be in town today. There's something here. And it's the start of something unexpected, given the fact that, again, Mars has just entered a new sign. Okay. Saturn is going to square the sun while that Uranus sextile is going on. That actually goes the most exact between 5:33 and 5:57 a.m. Central Standard Time. So here's Saturn, 19 degrees, 5 minutes. Here's the sun, 19 degrees, 4 minutes. It's close enough for government work. We have something here that for whatever reason, the next round of something that comes through, the next person that comes through, for some people, it's going to be disruptive in the chaotic sense. For other people, it's going to be disruptive in the pivotal sense. Like they come in, they show up at your store, they show up at your job, they slide into your DMs, and it is something that we are needing to deal with at this time. Saturn square to the sun is pushing an agenda, pushing an idea, pushing a guidance, pushing for something to happen. And in some ways, the sun is like, I don't necessarily know that I want to listen to you. I don't necessarily know that I need to hear this. I don't know if I want to be a part of this. There's a little bit more ego whenever it comes to the sun. With Venus, it's going to be a very different vibe compared to whenever the sun hits its exact square with Saturn. There will be questioning. There can be tension when it comes to Sunday. There can be unexpected things that comes to Sunday that people are not going to necessarily going to be okay with. Great. Happy birthday to me. And that's not a joke. That's actually my birthday. It is. Moving along. Okay. After the exact square, we're going to get into the afternoon between 1 and 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Neptune is going to hit the trine with the moon. There can be something based off of, again, the elder, the authority figure, that in the moment we're very tense with. But after we've had some time to think about it, it just leaves us feeling confused. Like, I don't know why you were acting this way. I don't know why they were wanting to do this. I don't know why they wanted to take this direction. I don't know why you talked to me that way. And there can be this sense of confusion, emotional confusion, based off of the Neptune trine. For other people, it doesn't have to be confusion at all. It can be more about inspiration. It can be more about nostalgia. It can be more about this thing that is giving us happiness and pleasure. It does not have to be negative. Sometimes Saturn being the elder is literally just going to be giving some type of like reflection or guidance as to like a positive way to go. And it's going to be based off of experience. It really depends on like how you receive this information, how you receive the situation. And it doesn't have to be negative, and it doesn't have to lead to confusion, but it can lead to surprises based off of the Neptune trine. Okay. At 2:29 p.m. Central Standard Time, so I'm going to bump this an hour, the moon's going to go into Leo. And as soon as the moon goes into Leo, the moon is going to start a square from Mars. And we're going to feel this the most exact between 2:30 right here and 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Here's Mars, 0 degrees, 27 minutes. Here's the moon. I bumped this an hour. It's actually going to be pretty exact. You can see that here. And this can be the push to do something new. This can be the push to address something in a new way. Saturn did just have a square to the sun. The moon is now in the sun sign. So whatever guidance, whatever push, whatever direction Saturn put before you, even if in the immediate, like you're kind of resistant to the idea, it's like after you've had some time to think about it, you're like, oh, well, maybe that wasn't such a bad idea after all. Maybe I could work with that. Maybe things will be okay. And Mars's push right here is pushing to try something new. It might not be from Saturn's guidance at all. It could literally be like, I told Saturn that we're going to do something. Saturn said you shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it anyways. And now we're pushing to do something new. We're pushing to take an action. We're pushing for something. And for a lot of people, whatever this is, it's a new energy because it is, again, a 0 degree square, a new interaction, a new arrival, a new person, a new beginning. Something that, again, is a part of the actions of how we are going to progress forward into something. Okay. Oh, between 5 and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, the moon in Leo is going to hit the opposition to Pluto. You can see that right here. We're building into a Pluto-Mars square that does not go exact until next week. But this T-square with the moon squaring Mars opposite Pluto, this energy right here can trigger whatever that exact Pluto-Mars square will be. So be aware of the energy of Sunday evening, because it's going to give you foreshadowing as to what is going on that next week. Whenever it comes to the Mars-Pluto square, this can also speak to something that's going to be a part of later energy of where we're going to get tested in the Mars retrograde, because remember, Mars is going to make 3 oppositions to Pluto in that Mars retrograde later this year and the first part of next year. So whatever this energy is, it is a part of something bigger than just the moment. And it is something we've been building to for a long time. Okay. Oh, when the moon hits the opposition of Pluto, it is seeing how much somebody has changed, something has changed, how much something has transformed. It is facing someone where we have previously had a struggle. Maybe Saturn square to the sun earlier in the day was giving guidance of like, okay, so when you get there later today, this is what you need to say, and this is how you need to do it. Now you're getting to that point. You're seeing somebody. Now you know exactly how to feel. You know exactly what you're going to say. You're going to address them the way it needs to be addressed whenever it comes to the moon's opposition to Pluto. For some people, this is going to be a very heavy transit. For other people, this is going to be a very pivotal transit with this T-square between Mars, the opposition with Pluto, and the moon. Sunday is going to be interesting for a lot of people. I'm not even lying on that. Okay. Moving this along, we're going to get to the last transit of the day. This perfects between 8 and 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Got this at 9:30. And Jupiter is going to hit a sextile to the moon. What did you learn? How did it go? Did you get over it? Do you feel better? Do you need my help? Some of you are going to be getting guidance from the guru. Some of you are going to be talking to the doctor. Some of you are going to be getting guidance from the teacher, talking about the effects of something, talking about how the way something made us feel, feeling more empowered, feeling more hopeful, feeling like we can move forward, that we can progress, that we can get over something. There's a lot of energy to Sunday. For some people, Sunday is about facing the past and past energies. Some people will be taking the new energy to the next level. Some people will be encountering something or someone in a whole new way. And then you get to the end of the day on Sunday and you're just like, this is what it's taught me. This is how I feel now. I'm better from this. I'm doing better after this. Things are going to be okay. Things can be okay with that Jupiter sextile to the moon. Okay. Oh, again, there's a lot of newness to this week with the planets changing signs, the healing energy between the Jupiter trine to Pluto, but also that rebirthing energy to Venus. There's going to be a lot of empowerment. Where we have previously had so many triggers and so many power struggles, we're meant to overcome them in different ways. And in the overcoming, something new is being born. And that is cemented in between the Venus Cazimi and the new moon in Gemini. Whatever is getting unveiled, whatever the newness is, whatever is being showing up in the results, whatever is coming through in the scans, whatever is being looked at, it is giving a whole new mindset of how we're going to progress from here, of how we can continue from here. We have gone through nearly a year of purging energy, of being reflective of what needed to be purged. And some people, you listened to me and you did the purges really fast. For other people, not so much. And it has taken a very long swarm to get there. Now, for some people, that was because there was a legal effect, and I get that. But we were meant to adjust into a new direction. Now we're getting more awareness as to what that direction is going to look like. And as we continue after the Sun Venus conjunction goes the most exact, which is this week, after we continue from here, we're going to be more moving towards something that is bringing us back into balance between now and the next eclipse season. Because the next eclipse season, one of the two eclipses is going to be that final energy of Libra. And I don't feel like that eclipse setting is going to have the same level of hyperactive purge as it did before. I feel like we're getting more empowered from here to find those things that are going to bring us peace. We have minimalized so much. We have reduced so much. We have gotten rid of so much that now, after so much shedding, all we can do is build our strength, build up these things inside of us. There is a hopefulness to this energy. What is meant to bring you peace? What can bring you more imbalance? Because that's where we're going next. I'll be very interested to hear from a lot of you as to what that Sun-Venus conjunction is going to reveal for you. I look forward to the comments and everybody hopping on the Zoom to tell me about it. But I anticipate something is going to come to light. Opportunities are going to come to light this week. And it is going to bring through a very disruptive arrival moving forward. But that disruptive feels like pivotal disruption, necessary disruption, new ways of connecting with people for the long term. And I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you guys are too. I like this week. I like this energy. I feel like we're going in a good direction. We have been slowly moving into a new direction for a while, but after this week, I don't think it's going to be that slow anymore. I think each day is going to be a little louder and a little busier. And the more you get something that makes sense to you, I think that you're going to be talking about what's making you feel better. You're going to be talking about what's been going on behind the scenes that nobody else was aware of. You're going to finally feel like you have a different voice that you haven't had in a long time. Voice what you need to say. Express those things. Spread the word, so to speak, as to what's giving you peace, what's giving you pleasure, and what you've been working on. Show it off if you can. Get more knowledge as to where you're going next. Do the research. Be aware. And that is the important thing right now, is awareness. Okay. I love and appreciate every single one of you. I haven't been doing the Facebook Lives just because I've been having to do more evening appointments with people, just to be clear. I am still doing the Zoom. So Zoom will be Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And those are always fun because once people start to get on them, they last for hours. Like on average, each one has been about 4 hours long. So people can get on anytime that they want. So I love and appreciate every single one of you. I will talk to everybody very, very soon. Subscribe.